Well, hey there. Are you struggling with your digital product and not sure how to actually generate your income where you feel like it's dependable and scalable? If so, you're in the right place, my friend, and I hope you want to invest the next 20 minutes or so with me, as my goal is to give you actionable steps to help you as a product focused CEO to generate that dependable and scalable income. I'm Dollie Freeman. I'm the host of the Product Focus CEO. I'm a content strategist and one who is here to help you grow your digital product business. So let's get started with getting you to understand a little bit more about me with today's behind the scenes story about what it was like for me when I started to become a converting marketer and having more than one product that caused me to be definitely an overwhelm of what things I need to be doing. And I found myself doing a whole lot of things that were not important. I don't know about you, but I have been in a place where I felt like I was pulling so much, going uphill with a rock on my back, in the middle of the water, just really struggling with too many oars in the water and really not having any real direction and trying to see what it was that would make the difference. Well, I was so glad when several years ago I decided to invest in my own education and learn what it meant to be an online marketer and to really understand the strategies and philosophies behind converting and what that all means. So I hope you will invest the next few minutes with me as I talk with you about today's show and get you on the path of creating and generating that dependable and scalable income. Today's show is what it takes to become a converting marketer. Now, just to make sure you understand, a converting marketer is one who focuses on the return on investment of what is spent in time and in money. In order to do that, your real ROI is income. So, in order to get your income, you need to convert your audience into customers, right? So, as you're becoming this digital product and focused on becoming the CEO of your business, making those decisions that are ultimately going to get you to that dependable and scalable income, you have to understand what it's going to take for you to get there. It's always a lot easier to get somewhere when you know what you need to take along the way. And that's what today's episode is all about. So let's get started. The very first thing that you will need to have of what it takes to become a converting marketer is a front end product. Now, you can have multiple products. In fact, I encourage you to have a product line. But what's really important is that having a product line without converting sales is really not the best way to spend your energy. The last thing you want to do is have a store on your blog with all kinds of products that's collecting virtual dust. And if you're on my email list, you learned a little bit about virtual dust on the mind as well. That is very important for you to understand because we as product creators must know and master our products. We need to know what our products have. And the more you have in your store, the less you're going to know about them, right? So when you can get zoned in and focus completely on one product, I call that the front end product, you will do far better because you're going to master your own product. You're going to be able to understand it. Now, what I want you to understand is as a front end product, you're going to need to know how to really teach, how to be able to really get your people to understand what it's about, how it will help them, and more importantly, how it will change their lives. So the more you know about your product, the better you're going to be at converting. And also in marketing, you have to be able to market your product. And the only way to do that without giving too much away is to master your product. So here's a question I want you to ask. If you have a piece of paper, I'd like you to write it down. So in order to have a front end product, I want you to ask, what problem are you going to solve? This is going to help you identify that front end product if you already have several products or if you're in the middle of creating a product. This will help you to be able to identify what problem are you going to solve. Once you can answer that one question, I want you to focus and commit to only promoting, only marketing that one product for a year. Okay, now I want you to hold with me because as creatives, we tend to want to just keep creating. And I've been there, I've done it. And I want you to know that as a creator, it's rewarding. It's rewarding to get your ideas down and to get them into this product, but it's not rewarding if you cannot convert sales, right? Remember that ROI is income. So if you are just creating and you're not getting that income, you're really not putting your time as a priority as it should be. All right. So, what I want you to do is commit to the next 12 months, a whole year. I want you to say, this front end product is going to be my marketing focus and strategies for the next 12 years. That is important because when you do that, you become known for something. And when you do that, you get to really master your product, not just because it's done, but you'll be able to master how you can market it for conversion. Okay. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you to think about that you have designed it for one market, right? I want you to zone in on one market. Now, when I say one market, I don't want you to be so specific that you leave other people out. In other words, if it is good for one market, it might be good for another. So here's what I want you to understand. If I, being in the homeschool market, right? I have two businesses, this and the Charlotte Mason business. And so what I want you to know is that if I zoned in and said, I'm going to teach homeschooling when I have a Charlotte Mason product, it's not really getting really into my market. I'm not coming really into the Charlotte Mason market. Now, other homeschoolers are going to find me just because of my messaging, right? But I cannot stick to always speaking about homeschooling because my product is focused on one market. So if you can really align your product with a market, you've gone much further faster because of that one thing. So for this business, I focus in on digital product creators. I do not help physical product creators. I do not help anybody else but digital product creators. That could be in a whole lot of niches. And so knowing that this one market is for digital products, it's going to help me to be able to help you because now you know, Dollie at Blog to Business really speaks to just digital product creators. And that's who I am. So that's who I want to listen to. You want to be that for your market. And then when you're picking your front end product, I want you to think about the fact that your purpose in marketing is to build a customer focused list. When I say that is, you're not just growing a list. It's not about the numbers. It's about the quality of the numbers. How many people on your list will most likely eventually become a customer? I call them potential customers, right? So when you're building a list, the purpose is to attract potential customers. There's a lot of strategies in how you want to do that. But when you're thinking of your front end product, you're going to be thinking about how your purpose is to build the list, and you want to perfectly align that product with your list building efforts. All right. Number 2 of what it takes to become a converting marketer is an investment mindset. This is something that trips up a whole lot of people. Because let's face it, if you're not making money yet, we look at every penny that's being spent as cost. But guess what? You're in a business, and business requires an investment. You cannot grow a business without investing. You just cannot. It's not possible. So I want you to ask yourself this question. So if you're taking notes, write this down because this is something you're going to want to process. All right? How much are you willing to invest to set up a business? Now, I want you to think about a brick and mortar store. Even though we're digital product creators, we have our store online. But I want you to realize there's a lot of similarities, right? When you have a business online, you're paying rent to your host, just like a brick and mortar is paying a lease or rent to their landlord. In addition to that, you have to have a cash register. That's your payment gateways and your cart. In addition to that, you have to have other tools, right? To really get your product in front of it. That's marketing. That's making sure that you're using the best tools to pull in and attract those potential customers. So it's really important that you understand that it takes money to make money. But in addition to that, I want you to understand that it also takes money and time to build a business. So you have to really say, do I really have time in my life right now to build a business? And if so, what does that look like? And ask yourself, how much time am I going to put into my business? And you have to make sure that you make that time sacred. Do you have 5 hours? Does that 5 hours look like 1 hour Monday through Friday? Or does it look like 5 hours on Saturday? Because maybe you have a full-time job. Or does that mean you don't have a full-time job and you can devote 20 hours a week? And what does those 20 hours look like? Are you working a 1 20-hour day? I hope not. Or are you working 4 5-hour days? Really putting a focus on how much time and how much money you're going to invest. And remember, an investment always gives back. And that's where the ROI comes in. And you have to understand that's an income, right? We're only measuring income. And then I want you to have this investment mentality to understand that to start a business, you have to know that on average, a business takes 2 to 3 years to make a profit. All right. When I say a profit, to start a business, a franchise business, like let's say Chick-fil-A, it takes their franchise at least 2 to 3 years and sometimes much more, depending on location. All the decisions in the business is already made. The designs are already made. The menu's already made. So that's the product creation. Someone already did it for them, and they're just paying to make that business set in stone. But as digital product creators, we have to create that ourselves. And that takes a lot of time. And sometimes it takes a lot of money. So in doing that, you also have to think about, okay, setting up my business is going to take a lot of time. How long am I willing to put money into my business without the business actually giving me profit that I can spend myself? Now, I'm not saying go into debt. What I am saying is that you have to be okay to go into debt to build a business. Everybody has debt when they're building a business, but you have to have a plan into it. We are able to go this much into debt over this amount of period of time, but by this time, my business needs to be making X amount of money or I'm calling it quits. I've done that one time in my business. And I'm telling you, it was the right decision. I got to a certain point and I said, you know what? That is not making me enough money for the time I'm putting it in. I'm not putting my energy there anymore. And so by doing that, you free yourself up. But if I didn't have that plan in place, I would be giving myself way too much work with very little ROI. And in that process, I'd be wasting my life because it wasn't returning to me. So knowing those business investment mindsets will help you a lot. And then I want you to have this understanding that businesses to scale also invest a portion of what their profits are back into the business. So when you get to a certain place, then you're like, okay, now I can invest in my business. What would build my business? What would scale my business faster? And then look at that and start saying, okay, a portion of my profits are going to go right back into that so that I can keep scaling my business. That is a business mindset that's around investment and understanding that it takes time and money to invest in a business for it to grow. So just because it's digital products and just because it's online does not mean that you can build a substantial business without an investment of time and money. And the longer you're in this business, the less time and the less money you're going to be spending. Well, that's not true. You'll spend more money the longer you're in it, but you'll be making far more money because of the efforts. So what I mean is the bigger the platform, the more cost you're going to have for your list, for your hosting, for all of these things, but you'll be making the money and it will make sense. So that's where knowing where your cutoff matters. If I can't make X amount of money in this amount of time, then we have to really evaluate either you need better strategies or your business model doesn't work. Okay. The third part of what you're going to need to make it as a converting marketer is a marketing plan. This is so important because in order to get where you want to go, you need a plan of how to get there. We call that a map when we're going somewhere on the road, right? A map gives us step-by-step directions of what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So what you want to be doing is thinking, okay, so what is it that I need to be doing for marketing? If you have your piece of paper, this is a question you need to answer for yourself. How are you going to sell your product? If you're not asking yourself that question as a digital product creator, you're probably not ready or you're not serious enough to become a converting marketer, because it is not, my product's done, it's in my store. All right, y'all come, and then get discouraged because all you hear is crickets. Well, you only hear crickets because you do not have a marketing plan. And the marketing plan, y'all, cannot consist of, I will do annual or biannual sales. No, 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 no. That does create money, but it also lowers the investment or the value of your product. So never put your front end product on sale. That is not the best strategy for a dependable and scalable business. That doesn't mean a marketing plan includes putting your product inside a bundle where it's discounted up to 93% off. Don't do that. Why? You just created a clearance product for your front end product. Never do that. And never, ever, ever bundle your front end product with other products of your own to entice people to buy. It all leads to the devaluing of your product, and it will cause you to have to work much harder to get new people, because the people on your list that have already seen that will say, she puts her products in a bundle, or she puts her products on sale a certain time of year. That's when I'm going to buy, and I'll never have to pay full price. We all do that. I know I do that, and I know you do that. So don't do that with your marketing plan. A marketing plan is very strategic that will build the value of your product while building the desire for your product. So it's very important to do that. So how to make sure that you sell your product in a marketing plan is make sure that you have the right product package. It has to evoke action in an audience in order for them to say, I desire this product enough to exchange money for the content. And we all have that. We all determine the value of a product if we're willing to give our money up for it. And it's always how it's going to change our life. Is it going to make us better? Or is it going to save our time? Is it going to get rid of a problem? Is it going to help me reach a desire I've never been able to do on my own? These are things that you have to answer for your audience and say, does that evoke enough action as a customer point of view or perspective to actually exchange money for your content? So your packaging is so important. And while you're putting your package together, you have to say, does this create a desire in me? Does this make me really, really want this product? Will this make my audience want the product? You have to be so good at building desire that conversion happens naturally without you feeling like you're selling a day in your life. And then you also have to position your offer. This is what I call marketing events. You cannot just put your product in. In fact, you should not have your front-end product inside your shop or your store on your blog. That is actually going to make your marketing plan harder to convert. And so if you have it in there, get it out right now. Today's action strategy is remove your front end product from your store if you have it in your store. You want to make sure that you're positioning your product in a serving way that will make your audience build that desire through your marketing plan, and then let them see the need of your product as you position it as an offer that you'll never have to sell. It just becomes that natural next step. All right, if you have questions, go ahead and post them. I'm going to get to them in a moment, but I want to share with you a resource that I have that would be very helpful as you're contemplating these questions and really getting them as part of your marketing plan. So here's a resource that you're going to want to get. It's converting your audience into customers. You can download it at blogtobusiness.com/steps. This is going to help you to discover how to generate that dependable and scalable product focused income in a short period of time. It includes the 8 steps to shortcut the time from your free content to paid content. And I'm telling you right now, it's so simple. And what I love about this resource is it truly eliminates all the busyness that we tend to be doing online. There is no throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. There's no, will this work? These 8 steps are proven strategies that I have used to convert my audience into customers in a short period of time. They will work for you. They work for my clients. And so it's all right there. This is a perfect blueprint for you to turn your audience into customers. So make sure you get that, blogtobusiness.com/steps. All right. So this is a big part of what I love to do, is really to help people understand what it is that you can do with your digital products once they're created and how to market them. But you have to have that shift in mindset to know that you have to do the work. You have to become a marketer, and not just any marketer that spams their social media, that spams their email, but one that thinks about what is going to work to convert and naturally convert, where you don't feel like you're selling a day in your life. So next week, on next week's episode, I'm going to be teaching you how to choose your front-end product. Let's assume you have several products like I do and many other people that I know, or you're contemplating another product. This next episode is going to help you to really have clarity on the strategies of what a front-end product looks like and why it should become your front end. So I want you to process the questions that I gave you in today's episode. Remember, what it takes to become a converting marketer is that number one, you have to have a front-end product. The second thing is that you have to have an investment mindset. And then the third thing is you need a marketing plan. So I want you to process the questions that I gave you in this episode. I want you to think hard and long about them. I want you to think about the things that I shared. And more importantly, if you have what you think is your front-end product inside your shop or your store, on your blog, I want you to remove it today. All right. I want you to remove it and trust me in the process. This is so important to conversion. If you have it in a bundle, if you have it on planned for a sale, if you plan on putting it in your own bundle, remove them. These are key things that you need to do to bring up the value of your front end product. So do that. And then join me next week as I share with you the strategies of how to choose your front end product. And we'll go from there. All right, so if there's any questions, post them in the comment. I'm going to be here for just a few more seconds if I know that there's comments or questions. This is so important that you know that I'm here live for you. I show up, I give you my time and energy to help you to become the product-focused CEO that I know you can be. Digital products are so fun to create. And they actually, once you understand how to market, they're enjoyable to market. I absolutely love serving my audience and helping them to see how my products can actually help them. So it's definitely about being in the business to changing lives. And I really hope and pray that you would do the same and get excited about what it is that you do as a product creator and build a business about what you know, the experiences you have, and the skills you possess. It's all that important. All right, I'm not seeing any comments for today's episode, but join me next week, same time, on Facebook and YouTube, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I look forward to seeing you then. Until then, bye for now.